Guten Morgen. Herzlich willkommen zu unserem Treffer zur Ehre des Lebens von Roland Friesenecker. Kia ora, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Goeiemorgen, hartelijk welkom bij ons bijeenkomst om die leven van Roland Friesenecker te eer. Sawubona. Good morning. Welcome to our gathering to honour the life of Roland Friesenecker, a fitting representation of the cultures that Dad was immersed in and embraced thoroughly. And thus it became our unique and unusual culture of our very small family here in South Africa. I just need to breathe. As we sit here in the sanctuary, we allow the energy of love, peace, and support to flow forward to Helen, his beloved wife, to Stephen and myself, his adoring children, and to Jack, his grandchild. As we feel this beautiful energy extended outwards beyond seas and borders, to Ben, his grandson in Australia, his grandchildren, Elena and Logan in New Zealand, to Kate, his daughter-in-law, and Paul, his son-in-law, to his brother Gunther and his sister Gertrude in Austria. We allow this energy to gently wrap around them as they have lost their rock, and we are completely devastated. To the Friesenecker Riddle-Roo clan, may the sun bring you energy to face the next day. May the moon softly restore your souls. May the rain wash away your tears. May the wind blow strength into your beings. May the water be still and the mountains be calm. May your memories be happy and may your broken hearts heal. May you sit in stillness and be thankful for the amazing connection you had to this brilliant man. I'm just going to hand over to Stephen now.
Morning, everyone. I just want to start off by thanking you all for taking the time to be with us here this morning. I know many of you have interrupted holidays and travelled to be here, and it's greatly appreciated. Also, hello and thank you to everyone who's joining us virtually online via the live stream, particularly friends and family in Austria, Australia and New Zealand. And from Mum, Carol and I, we just want to say how greatly we appreciate all the love and support that we've had from friends and family over the last very difficult weeks. As we were preparing for today, we were really agonizing over what sort of service Dad would have wanted and how could we be true to him. But the truth is, Dad would have hated to have been the center of attention. He hated to be a bother or a trouble to anyone, and would have been very uncomfortable with to hear us eulogizing about him. But we think it's absolutely right that we get together and take the time to mark the memory with friends and family and colleagues who knew him, who loved him, and who respected him. So with apologies to Dad, we're going to proceed on that basis, and I'm going to try and work my way through it. When I was young, I believed that there was nothing in the world that my dad could not build or fix. He was handy around the house, he had a garage full of power tools, and an engineering brain that knew how things worked. Unfortunately, I didn't inherit any of those skills. But perhaps it skips a generation, because at least the grandchildren are showing some promise in that direction. At our homes in Atlasville and Fairmere, he got stuck in building walls, building gates, and the most important feature, a braai area. He designed and manufactured all of the play equipment for Mum's playgroup, and for Carolyn and I, he built us desks and chairs and beds and toy boxes. One of my earliest memories was waiting for Dad to come home from work so that I could demand what I wanted him to build for me out of Lego and mechanic sets, and he would dutifully build it overnight so that it was waiting for me at the breakfast table in the morning. So like many young boys, Dad was probably my first hero. For his grandchildren, he made to order customized toy wagons, a pair of Maui fishhooks, and a racehorse swing set. I don't know that there's too many other kids out there who get their toys designed on AutoCAD software. A boermarke plan. That was one of Dad's sayings that he adopted from this country that he called his home. Dad arrived in South Africa back in 1971 as a newly qualified engineer just 20 years old. That's a bold leap of faith for a young man into the unknown. A few years later, he was introduced, courtesy of Roswitha, to a Kiwi girl who was traveling around the world and working at a coffee shop in the Colton Centre at the time. After a courtship that took them back to Austria and New Zealand, Mum and Dad were married, and they settled down to start a life and a family together in Africa. That's a long way from home and family, and I think that reflects on their courage and their pioneering spirit. Dad loved so much about South Africa. He came over from Austria on a 6-month contract and ended up staying for over 50 years. His favorite places included Banana Beach on the south coast, the Natal Midlands, the Drakensberg, Kruger National Park, all of which we spent many wonderful holidays together. I think it was in the bush where he was happiest, with his camera, his binoculars, and Ian Sinclair field guide to the birds of Southern Africa. They say that still waters run deep, and that was especially true with Dad. He was seldom outspoken or overly expressive, but he was deeply thoughtful and intelligent. He was kind and generous to a fault. He provided everything that our family needed, and he made sure that we could pursue whatever we wanted to do. Mum and Dad always put Carolyn and I ahead of themselves. Dad was also unflappable in a crisis. He was a rock, calm and stoic in the face of adversity. He believed in controlling what could be controlled and letting go of the rest. The more you worry, the more you'll die, was his motto, and he expected to live to a ripe old age with that attitude and a daily dose of Schweden bitters. When Dad was diagnosed with cancer earlier this year, he was facing a long and difficult journey. In typical fashion, he didn't want anyone to fuss over him or worry about him, and he kept the diagnosis mostly to himself. He endured his treatments, uncomplaining, and never once expressed any self-pity. He just quietly climbed every mountain that was put in front of him, and he got ready to climb the next one. He was taken from us very suddenly and far too soon. The only solace that we can find, perhaps, is that he may have been spared further pain and suffering that may have lain ahead. Last paragraph, so get there. It's actually not going to help. Dad, I know that you are resting easy now. You should be at peace that you've left a strong legacy behind you, with Mum, Carolyn, and myself, and 4 grandchildren that you adored and should be very proud of. We'll all carry your lessons, your strength, and your love with us every day. Thank you.
We're just waiting for one more guest who was going to translate something that Dad's brother and sister sent over from Austria. I do think a car has just arrived, so while we're waiting, if I can just change the order of service to the song that we have thought out and aptly represents Dad. Thank you.
Everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season. turn, 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 and they time to every purpose under heaven. A time to gain, a time to lose, a time to rend, a time to sow, a time for love, a time for hate, a time for peace. I swear it's not too late.
Very, very fitting words. The person that was going to arrive to read the Austrian eulogy has unfortunately not arrived. To Uncle Gunther and Auntie Gertrude, to Uncle Christian, did I say that wrong? No. To Jasmine and Renee, to Auntie Sylvia, Daniela, Thomas, Sandra and Ronnie, our thoughts are with you, and I'm sorry that we're so far away and you can't be with us today. Uncle Gunther and Auntie Gertrude, we know you had the best big brother. I'm just going to read out a short verse in English from the Austrian message that they sent. Roland first left Austria and came to South Africa in 1971. And that was at the end of his engineering training. He came for a 6-month adventure and ended up staying for 53 years. From the beginning, we missed our brother, and now our brother has embarked on another big journey, and we will miss him forever. He will always remain in our thoughts. Dad, you were a man of few words, but rather words of value, and a man of great action. There was no end to your deeds of service to your family, always selflessly and patiently, always ready to help, and always there. When I needed a rock, you were always there. When I needed help, you were always there. When I lost my way, you were always there. When I needed a laugh, you were always there. When I needed good advice, you were always there. When I needed something fixed, you were always there. You were selflessly always there. You were logically always there. You were patiently always there. You were respectfully always there. And you were kindly always there. Well, I need you, Dad, and you're not here. Dad, your life is not measured by years, but of experiences, connection, and joys behind the tears, by the journeys we shared and the songs we sang, by all the happiness you bring. We celebrate every step you took, each hand you held, and all the words in your book. We will dance to a new rhythm now, peace replacing tears as time will allow. Don't worry, Dad, a boer maak 'n plan. We will learn to carry on. Say hello to Oma and Opa, Grandma and Granddad. Rock on to Mozart. Until we meet again, auf Wiedersehen. Tjus, ka kite, hare ra, tot ziens, hambagashle, goodbye.
So guys, I appreciate that. That was pretty heavy going, and just thank you again for being here to share this time with us. And we hope you'll join us outside for maybe some lighter-hearted snacks and refreshments. Thank you again. We'll close the service there. And I would just like to wish everyone all the very, very best for next year, 2025. Goodbye.